And now, welcome out, everyone. There you go. It's just a lot of pre-talking going on, but Chuck's got us going on there. It's another edition of the Warrior Roundup with Coach Josh Brown, and we are live here on Versailles Boulevard at Fatburger and Buffalo's Express, where had a good time. Great hospitality. Had to move inside. Last week was a little chilly as it's dipped down. Supposed to be down in the 20s tonight, I believe, and that's not what they draw up when they talk about the boys of summer in baseball season, is it, Coach?
No, not at all.
You know, we've seen earlier on, because the season starts pretty early, a lot of through the years. February has been some games, but this is as cold as it's been that I remember that you guys have been playing baseball.
Yeah, you know, we had a little time, a little break there where it felt really good, and then all of a sudden, you know, the other night we're playing, or yesterday we're playing, and it's freezing out there. And you could tell, I think it took some teams a little adjustment to get used to that.
Well, it's strange, too, and you talk the weather side of it. Couple of weekends ago, it was 80, 85 degrees and sunny during those 11 o'clock games, and we were talking about how the sun was playing havoc on our equipment then, and then you throw in some 50-degree windy, and it does the same thing for it. How are you guys adjusting to going from the hot and the cold and the hot and the cold?
Well, we've had a few guys be sick. I
Right.
can tell you that. We're dealing with that right now. But, I mean, you just got to deal with it. You got to go out and play. I know it does change the offense a little bit. I believe the ball doesn't come off the bat the same as when it's a little warmer. Pitchers, you know, we're watching pitch counts a little more with it being cold. So, but we've had a good week this week overall where we didn't have to use but one kid over 70 pitches, so it was a good week overall.
That is a huge week, and that's a weekend when you had some tournament action going on. Now, those wrap up after this weekend. You kind of normally finish up your tournaments before you start district, but it overlapped a little bit this week. You started with Harrisonburg in district, and we'll talk about them in a moment. But take me through the first half of the season, your tournament play, the couple of opponents. You guys sit at 14-3 on the season. Couple of big losses to big 5A teams out there, and then another scrappy one. So take me through, I guess, your first half. Not speaking on Harrisonburg, we'll talk about that after the break.
Overall, 14-3. I mean, you got to be pleased with that.
Right.
Outstanding. I mean, look, if you would have told me we'd been 14-3 at the beginning of the year, I'd take that any day of the week. Especially when we had some kids out, injuries, some kids being ineligible. So we've done a good job. You know, we would have liked to have one or two, the Bo Shen game back for sure. But overall, I mean, we're happy with being 14-3. I think the progress from the pitching staff has done well. The one area I feel like we still got to get a little better with a couple of kids getting in the zone a little bit more. But we have three guys that are really pounding the zone and doing a good job. Their walks are down, and anytime you do that, you're going to give your team a chance to win. Offensively, the team is, look, we got six guys I'll put up against anybody, and right now we've got some kids back, so we've got like 14 guys we played 14 guys yesterday. So if that gives you any idea where we're at depth-wise, we're feeling pretty good about it.
And you're playing them not in a courtesy runner stage, but actually in the field and in the games. Is that what you're telling me?
Correct. You know, we've had a couple guys. I think three guys have over 30 at bats, and then over the weekend we got some kids back, and we got Gainey back last week, so he's had I think 12 ABs since he's been back, and then we've got three other kids that joined this week, so we've had two of them get a lot of at bats. So just to give you an idea, we're playing a bunch of people right now. I mean, yesterday we had a kid, he kind of struggled early. Hey, we pitched it, got another kid in there. He comes up with his first career hit. And then, again, we got an eighth grader playing a lot in right field who's doing a good job. And then late in the game, we go to who we feel like's a better defensive player
Right.
than him in the outfield. We're able to do that. Haven't been able to do that in probably 4 or 5 years.
You know, and we talked about that the last couple of years, too. Your roster was down, and due in part a lot to COVID, of course, in there. That really shrunk the numbers. But in the runs that you made, 14, 15, 16, 17, through the years, you always had big rosters, took that dip down during the COVID years. But, again, you've got that built back up. And it's surprising the number of 7th and 8th graders that you have contributing this year.
That's exciting. I mean, the future's bright, no doubt. And these guys have a really good baseball IQ. They understand the game a lot, and it's really a pleasure to coach those kids. You know, I'm not afraid to put them out there either. I mean,
Right.
they understand the game. We just got to put them in the right situation. Now we're trying to figure out the pieces of the puzzle, who's going to win that job, separate themselves, and we may not figure that out for another week. We're hoping this week we can kind of figure it out. We want to get somebody comfortable out there. But you got to have role players. You got to have somebody that can come off the bench if somebody struggles, that can come in and deliver a pitch hit or lay down a sack bunt, whatever it may be. Or, and again, we have guys that can run at any time. But, again, we're so much better right now depth-wise.
Well, and you talk about being able to come in and lay down a sacrifice bunt. Again, the last couple of years, you haven't seen as much of that as you have in the past. Is it something you made a concerted effort to focus on a little more this year, to be able to not only hit the ball around the field, but to lay it down and get the defenses off guard?
We got away from that the last few years, to be honest with you. We were not a very good bunting team last year. We had only 6 sacrifice bunts last year. We did not do a very good job of that over the last couple of years.
You had 4 or 5 in one game this year.
Correct.
Early on.
We've bunted a ton. The small bunt game has been a thing that we wanted to do this year to make sure that if we're not swinging the bat well, we want to be able to play small ball, score runs that way. We've done a lot of that. We're just a different team. I mean, we can play power ball, but we can also play small ball. It just, people can't play us one way or another now. Last year, I mean, look, we stuck 9 kids out there, and we didn't have anybody to go to on the bench.
Right.
And now we have guys we can go to, and it just makes us a whole lot better.
How is it mindset-wise? Because quite frankly, a lot of these kids grow up playing through the travel ball time, and there's 9 or 10 of them on the field, and they're all on the time. But now you come in here to a set, and you say, okay, look, may not get you in this game, may have you in there for one play, and that's a role player's role. So how's the mindset as it relates to that?
Team first.
Right.
We before me. I mean, that's something we preach. I mean, that's where you got to be. I mean, at the end of the day, we're trying to – these guys, when they leave here, we want them to be team players in the workforce where they're going, and it's no different here. We've got to be in it together, and whatever you're asked to do, you got to be able to do it.
How have your senior and upper-class leaders been helping those younger guys as well? You got probably one of the best in the state that plays plays third base for you and pitches and catches and does, Luke Johnson, leading the way too. And it's not what I've seen from it. Now, I'm not around it every day, but if you asked me just on the outside what would I say about Luke Johnson and his leadership, it's just going out there and working every day, and his work ethic is probably what does it.
Absolutely. Guys follow that, and when they're in the cage and they're hitting, he's like a coach with his group. Can't say enough about him. He does a tremendous job. But we've got 4 or 5 kids like that.
Right.
I mean, and they're just all following each other and pulling for each other. That's the thing I like, when guys are pulling for each other, and they're doing that right now.
Again, and we talked early in the season, so I know it's just a progression, and we're only halfway there. Anybody that knows Grace baseball knows that 17 games in, that's just halfway. I think you've got scheduled another 16 games on there, or 15 games on there, and then the playoff addition to it as well. But you've just had different people step up at different times throughout the season.
Correct, and that's what makes it special. I think this weekend was a prime case. We had people step up all weekend, different guys, new guys that come off the bench and did a job, and that's what am I looking for? The words. As a good team, you got to have more than 1 or 2 guys
Correct.
to be able to do that, and right now we're having that.
Well, to do, if you've only got 1 or 2 of those star players that you'll call them, guys that that are going to be the ones, they can get pitched around.
Correct.
They can get those. You can't pitch around that lineup. You've got Luke, who has just been tearing the ball up, hitting in front of Canyon. So you're not going to pitch around Luke to get to Canyon, and all he's done is hit 4 home runs last week.
Correct. 4 home runs last week, and then you got Canyon who might lead. Hell, he might lead the doubles in the state of Louisiana. I don't know, but he's double-digit doubles right now, and he can hit. And then you got Seth Cook, who's coming on strong, and then you got Cody Davis, who had a good week swinging the bat as well.
Oh, by the way, your leadoff hitter not too shabby either. He can get on base a lot of different ways.
Oh, absolutely. Only struck out 3 times so far, 21 walks.
That's what's a staggering number, is the number of walks, and he's had some counts. Carson Courtright is who we're talking about, the center fielder and leadoff hitter, whereas 42 for the Warriors. But I've seen him in an 0-2 count scratch out a walk, and somebody that looks on the outside of it say, well, the pitcher threw 4 balls out of the strike zone. That's how he got the walk. your baseball IQ is low if that's what you believe. But I've seen him foul pitches off and grind away and get there until he gets the one that he wants, or he's going to work out a walk on there, and that's just being a pure leadoff hitter.
Correct, and not trying to do too much. We talk about that a lot. If you watch Carson hit last week and the week before, he probably had 5 hits to right field with 2 strikes. I mean, look, he lets the ball travel, gets on him, takes it to right field. He's got a base hit. I mean, all he does is get on base.
Well, it's been a great start to the season, a great start to this show. We're going to take our first break of the evening. We are live at Fatburger and Buffalo's Express on Versailles Boulevard. Happy to be here. Happy that you're here with us. Don't go anywhere. We will be right back with the Warrior Roundup on 446 Sports.
Appliance Parts Company in Alexandria has all your major appliance parts needs. We sell parts to all major appliances as well as new appliances, including window units, chest, and upright freezers. Appliance Parts originally opened its doors on Lee Street in 1972, and we're now open at a new location on Memorial Drive to serve you better. Stop by, say hey to our crew, and check out our awesome holiday gifts. Appliance Parts, 2208 Memorial Drive in Alexandria next to Target. Open Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, and Saturday from 9 till 12.
Make your burger your style with delicious, hand-pressed, never-frozen AAA Angus beef and tons of fresh, tasty toppings. Fatburger. Great taste sounds good, doesn't it?
Can you tell me about that day? There was a huge assembly, and then he came to the gym, and he announced it.
I would like to honor a warrior that is right here.
I was diagnosed with Wilms tumor kidney cancer.
Colin McGee. We're going to fly you and your family to Universal Studios in Los Angeles to meet Adam Levine. Yes!
I got there, and then we went to Santa Monica Pier, and the water felt good, and I found a bunch of cool rocks, and then we went to The Voice the next day. I got to meet Adam Levine after the show, which was amazing.
I'm Bob Giles, and I believe every business should give back. Join me at gilesgivesback.com.
Buying car insurance for the first time can be overwhelming. Do you have enough coverage? Are you paying too much? Will someone be there for you when the unexpected happens? I'm Jason Hawk with Farm Bureau Insurance. You may think it's easier online, but why wait? We're here to help you make sure you're covered. When it comes to car insurance, we have the answers, and we may have rates that save you money. So talk to Hawk at 318-791-HAWK or online at talktohawk.com and let us help you protect your biggest investments.
BK Distributors is proud to support high school athletics on 446 Sports. BK is the one-stop shop for trophies, banners, awards, letter jackets, and just about anything award-related. And now, welcome BK Apparel and BK Promotions to the family. For all your spirit apparel needs and anything you need to brand your business. When you think of anything you need with your name on it, think BK. Check them out on Facebook or at bkdistrib.com. BK Distributors, Apparel and Promotions in Pineville.
Is your vision just not as crisp and clear as it used to be? Are you having difficulty driving, especially at night? Are you over 40 and now needing reading glasses? If so, the trusted eye care team at Wallace Eye Associates is here to help with your family's eye care needs, just like we have been for nearly 40 years. Call Wallace Eye Associates today at 318-448-4488 to schedule your next eye evaluation.
Our mobile banking app is changing the way we bank. Things are getting easier, transactions are getting safer, and you have access 24/7. All the functionality of banking you're used to, made easier to use, anywhere, anytime, and more secure than ever. Simple, seamless, safe. Download our mobile app today.
There we are. Now we're back. Chuck's he's caught up with a case of the days off there and getting a little sluggish on us. But see, I let him play with the sound effects too on there. We're back here for the Warrior Roundup. We are at Fatburger and Buffalo's Express on Versailles Boulevard. If you're going down Versailles Boulevard, you can't really miss it as you're heading from Coliseum Boulevard towards Grace. Just look to your right. If you're leaving school and head back the other way, of course, look to your left, but I shouldn't have to explain that to you. Another great week of baseball. Coach, you opened up District 2-0. Tuesday, Harrisonburg came into town, and then you made the long trip on Thursday, as that's how district play works. The Tuesday and Thursday, that was in front of the big weekend. 2 Saturday games that you had. But your start to district, tell me about that as you go 2-0.
Yeah, we got off to a good start. Seth Cook pitched the district opener against Harrisonburg. I think he had 7 strikeouts. Wound up beating them 10-0. I thought we played really good defense that night. Kids did well, and then we went on the road at Harrisonburg, and I thought the stick showed up. We had Cody Davis hit a grand slam. Wind was blowing in probably 25 miles an hour. We pounded out, I think, 16 hits. Had a really good night. We're really pleased with the kids. We got a lot of people in that night, and Aiden Cook came in after Maddox. And Maddox looked really good pitching again. Kid's been phenomenal this year, only 3 walks.
Yeah, we talked about that. And not only has he done that, he's played a lot of different. But I want to look back at Seth, who has thrown the ball, just a junior for you this year. 32 strikeouts, 5-1 on the season on there. When he's out on the mound, are you calling a lot of the pitches, or are you giving him the liberty to do what he wants?
We are calling the pitches. There is times.
You see, I said liberty. You didn't think I could work that into it, but I did.
Oh, I got
Thank you.
Yeah,
yes.
So. I think she went back to Virginia today. So, yeah.
Thank you. See, if I've got to go back and explain the joke, it doesn't hold near as much weight to it. But anyway, truthfully, though, what's your approach when you guys are out there?
We do give him the leeway on off-speed pitches because he throws a curveball and a slider. So whichever one he thinks that's working, we kind of give him leeway on that. But we do call fastballs, off-speed pitches, but we do give him the leeway again to call what he wants to do on the off-speed. If he doesn't feel like the curveball's working, he'll go to the slider.
I looked through the stats on there, and you see he's at 5-1. Maddox at 3-0. He's got a save also. Canyon 3-0 with a save. Aiden Cook 2-0. Jack Powell, if you look at his stats, at 1-2, but he goes up against Natchitoches Central and Ash on 2 of the losses on there. So that's a tough stat to look at.
Yeah, for sure. And we threw him those games because, we felt like his curveball early in the season was really good in his bullpen sessions. And I would do it over again. He's just got to get some confidence behind him. And, he's capable of beating anybody. He's just got to show up and pitch like he does in the bullpen.
Of course, you got Gainey back, too, and he's thrown a little bit for you as well. That was a big boost.
Correct. He threw Monday. We need a couple more bullpen sessions with him. We still feel like there's some mechanic issues. Anytime you lay off 6 weeks,
right?
That's going to hurt you a little bit. But he will be back on the mound here, throwing a good bit. We're hoping this weekend we can get him some work in on the road for a non-district contest.
How important is it with the season as long as it is, the back-to-back schedules, the long sets that you have, having a deep bullpen like that?
Oh, it's huge. You got to have it. And we made a commitment this year that we wanted fresher arms at the end of the season. The one thing that we've done different this year, we have not had anybody hit triple digits.
Right.
Last year, I was looking back last night, we did that probably 3 or 4 times already last year. We have not done that at all this year. We've had most starters go 5 innings, no more than 5 innings. We went to the bullpen after that. I think Seth went a couple games 4 innings, so we're hoping that pays off in the long run. We want to have fresh arms at the end of the season, and having more depth is going to allow us to do that too.
Explain a little bit about the pitching restrictions on certain pitches one day versus coming back in a day or 2 or 3 or what have you.
Yeah, you can throw 34 or less and come back tomorrow. No days rest.
Right.
If you go 35, I think it's through 59, you got a 1 day rest. 60 through 84 is 2 day. Anything over 85 is a 3 day rest.
Okay.
And you can max out at 115, but you can finish a batter, so you can go over that if you started the batter. Yeah. So
as long as they're counting the pitches correctly.
Correct.
Wow. That's a jab from way back, isn't it? Several years ago. Look, some of the older players in here understand that little jab there. Well, we invite you to come out and join us here at Fatburger, Coach. Great time with the show as well. Hitting leaders for the year. I know you don't like to give out as many stats batting wise, but tell me your thoughts on your batting leaders through the year.
Yeah, I mean, we've got right now 6 kids with 18 or more RBIs. So, we've got some guys doing pretty good there. We put up a lot of runs so far this year. Johnson leading the way, Wright leading the way, Cook, Courtwright. Courtwright had a home run on Monday. Again, all he does is get on base lately. Maddox is coming through big time for us lately as well. And then, like I said, we got numerous guys coming off the bench with 3 guys that's been starting. We got Micah Palmer, who's an 8th grader, who's been putting the ball in play. Sometimes I look at his average and I'm going, it's like 230 right now, but the kid doesn't strike out. He puts the ball in play on a consistent basis, and that's all we want you to do is put the ball in play.
Well, when that happens, it's just things can happen. You get the defense now; they've got to react to it. On a strikeout, I mean, the job is over with, too. There's no pressure on the defense. You don't see the errors that are going to happen on there. And so putting the ball in play, but it seems like your guys understand hitting behind the runner and moving base runners over and the importance of that.
Correct. We've seen that a lot this week. And we're not even talking about 1 or 2 other kids that had to play last week at St. Edmund. We were hitting behind runners, moving runners over, doing the little things to compete and be in a ball game, and that's what you got to do. But like I said, I like what our team's doing right now offensively. I mean, we got numerous guys, and they're all a little bit different.
Right.
And I just like it when we got 6 or 7 guys that are threats at any time to lay down a bunt.
Well, and one thing that you've historically done is you'll have somebody down in that 8-9 hole that hits in kind of that double leadoff, I guess, if you will. Mm-hmm. And we've talked about it throughout the season, 1 through 9. There's no soft spot really that you can go up and say, okay, it's 7, 8, 9 or 6, 7, 8. Well, we can coast right here.
Correct. And anytime you can do that, you're going to be phenomenal going down the stretch. I mean, 1 through 9, and that's what we want to do. But having that second guy, we still got to try to figure that out. Like I said, we got 6 guys competing for 3 spots, I feel like right now. So we just got to figure that out, but it's a good problem to have.
Indeed it is. And we're going to take a break here. When we come back, we'll visit with some of the players that you've brought in here with us tonight. We'll talk a little bit about what's going on with those guys, and we'll look ahead to a trip to Monterey this week. That's you still don't know that you can get here from here. That's always a difficult trip, but a great one to go down there and do, and not looking ahead, but there's some big ball games coming up after that as well. Don't go anywhere. We are live. You see it on the screen. We are live at Fatburger and Buffalo's Express here on Versailles. It is the Warrior Roundup with Coach Josh Brown on 446 Sports. Back on another Sunday evening here. Sky starting to stay clear. Summertime is rolling around, but you could not tell it by the weather. I think it's been supposed to be down in the 20s in the morning, and that doesn't make sense when we were battling the 80s just a couple of weeks ago. But we are here live, Fatburger and Buffalo's Express. Doug Gann, Coach Josh Brown, and joined now by Seth Cook. Seth, welcome.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Becoming a fixture on the show, and we like that. Without a doubt, had a good week, off to a 5-1 start on the mound. How comfortable are you feeling out there?
Pretty comfortable. So this past season, I kind of jacked up my shoulder a little bit,
right?
And so I kind of started off the season kind of slow, but I feel like now I'm able to kind of go full force and basically ease back into it, back to where I was last year.
When we talk about it in the games a lot, as well as you go back in pitching as long as you want to, pitchers that you're going to be up. I mean, I think the Beauchene game, I guess, over the game that you guys win 2-0, you get to their pitcher early on. It seems like if there's a time to get to Seth Cook, it's in that first inning on there. But once you get comfortable and settled in, and so I stretch that out to the season. First of the season, you were leaving some pitches up high. Look like you've worked on that as well and just getting stronger as you go along.
Right, just the high pitches was a mechanical issue.
Right.
I just had to basically get to practice, work on it, and try to fix out my mistakes. So.
How big of a weapon is it having Cody back there behind the dish for you?
Oh, I love it. Runners don't go.
Right.
They just don't.
If they don't do it but once.
That's it.
If they do.
That's it. Blocking the ball, and great at blocking the ball, I feel very comfortable. Me and Cody have been playing baseball together for 5-6 years now.
Yeah.
How it's always been.
What's the conversations that you have if he calls time and comes out there to talk to you a little bit?
It all just depends. Sometimes he's like, hey, stupid, get it together, But,
that's wisdom. I mean, that's a good quote. That's good stuff.
But, sometimes it's encouraging. Sometimes it's like, hey, work on this. You know what you need to be doing. And so. And
we've seen you guys that have the relationship that you have. How pumped were you when he hits that granny the other night?
Oh, yeah. That was amazing. First high school home run, not counting the scrimmages.
Right.
Great experience.
Yeah, that's good to see out there. Open up 2-0 in district. You guys are 14-3 on the season. You've got Monterey next week. Record may not show it, but that has always been a battle with you guys. What do you do to put the Harrisonburg 2 games behind you and move into Monterey this week?
Well, Monterey may not be the best team in the district, but they definitely are a competition to us. It's how it's been in the past, like you said. So you enjoy the Harrisonburg win, and now you move on to week 2 of district, and so you just have to focus on that.
What do you do getting ready for that trip? Because there's no easy way to get there. I know the Harrisonburg trip is one thing, but the Monterey one, I mean, you go a long way and do. So how do you, one, prepare for that, knowing that you'll pitch one of those days? I've got to believe. I don't know if it's the one where you're on the road or not on there, but preparing, but also letting some of the younger guys, because you're moving up into the upper class side of it, saying, look, this is a long bus ride. Don't goof off. Don't be silly. This is what we've got to do to prepare for it.
Right. As soon as you get on there, everybody's either going to be hype or they're going to be tired just getting out of school or whatever. Right. But I think whenever you get about 30 minutes away, you need to start waking up and getting ready.
Right.
Being prepared for the game.
Indeed. So take me through the weekend, too. We talked about that game, the first game Saturday that ended up, I think you guys come back and score a run in the bottom of the 7th to win it. What does a game like that do for you guys? It probably you should have had earlier than that, but you still had the wherewithal to come back and win it.
Right. Games like that ended up it was 9-9 in the 7th inning, I believe, if I'm not wrong. And games like that you should have been ahead and you end up coming back and tying or you end up losing the lead, it just basically shows you can't give up on the game. And you have to get out there and work your butt off and grind out every inning.
And that's what makes – and I've said it through all 30 years I guess I've been broadcasting is that's what makes baseball the greatest game that there is because everybody gets their last out. I mean, you can't take a knee, you can't stall, you can't run the clock. You had to give those guys their at-bats, and they did something with it too. And so – but the thing about it is you got to come back and you guys got to hit, and that's the benefit of being at home with that lineup that you have. There's a good chance if you're tied in the bottom of the inning, you guys are going to come out with a dub. Absolutely.
I'm really proud of our top of the order, especially, a bunch of sophomores and up, everybody's grinding out ABs. Most of the people in the top of the order have experience. Just when you have that, you're going to be successful.
Then you got to take the emotion of that one and come right back on the field and do it there. How do you turn it off and say, okay, that's over with, here we go now?
Honestly, I think it just kind of motivates you a little bit.
Right.
Like, hey, if this game's going to be close, we better not make this one close.
Right.
Better get there and handle business.
What do you think that does to you as the games go on to not let up on any? And not saying that there was any let up on there as well, but you got to admit, we've seen games where you go out and get a 6 or 7 run lead all throughout baseball, and the mindset and the focus kind of slips away. And this is one of those games that you say it can't happen.
Absolutely. You get up 7, 8 runs on a team, you start slacking off a little bit, like, hey, you get the sort of arrogance in a way.
Right.
And at that point, that's whenever most of the time that team's going to strike.
Yep.
Your mindset has to be like, hey, this game is not over until the bottom of the 7th, or if you end up 10 on that team. But it's not over until then.
There you go. Well, we appreciate it, Seth, for joining us. As always, you guys start out at 2-0 on the season, 14-3 overall. And Coach Brown and I talked about it earlier. If you'd have looked back at the first week of district, you said you guys would be 14-3. You'd have taken that.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
There you go. Well, we're looking forward to a great second half. Seth, thanks for joining us, and we'll catch you next time.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
You go, Seth Cook joining us here on the Warrior Roundup. Coach, and as always, just a tremendous interview that's on there. That goes back, I think the first time that we had him on the air was a game up in Iowa, and just handles himself and is never one to put any responsibilities or letdowns on anybody else. He's quick to say, you know what, if there's something to be done, I'm going to do it.
Correct. Oh, yeah, he wants the game ball. And that's what you want on
right.
any pitcher that you got on your staff. And I feel like right now we got 3 guys on our staff that are like that. They want the ball.
Well, that's as you said earlier, that's a good problem to have. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll talk to a couple of the other players. We'll do all of that when we get back to Fatburger and Buffalo's Express here on Versailles. Coach Brown, Doug Gann, we'll be right back.
There was a huge assembly, and then he came to the gym and he announced it.
I would like to honor a warrior that is right here.
I was diagnosed with Wilms tumor kidney cancer.
Colin McGee. We're going to fly you and your family to Universal Studios in Los Angeles to meet Adam Levine. Yes.
Got there, and then we went to Santa Monica Pier, and the water felt good, and I found a bunch of cool rocks. And then we went to The Voice the next day. I got to meet Adam Levine after the show, which was amazing.
I'm Bob Giles, and I believe every business should give back. Join me at gilesgivesback.com.
Appliance Parts Company in Alexandria has all your major appliance parts needs. We sell parts to all major appliances as well as new appliances, including window units, chest, and upright freezers. Appliance Parts originally opened its doors on Lee Street in 1972, and we're now open at a new location on Memorial Drive to serve you better. Stop by, say hey to our crew, and check out our awesome holiday gifts. Appliance Parts, 2208 Memorial Drive in Alexandria next to Target. Open Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, and Saturday from 9 till 12.
Make your burger your style with delicious, hand-pressed, never-frozen AAA Angus beef and tons of fresh, tasty toppings. Fatburger. Great taste sounds good, doesn't it?
Buying car insurance for the first time can be overwhelming. Do you have enough coverage? Are you paying too much? Will someone be there for you when the unexpected happens? I'm Jason Hawk with Farm Bureau Insurance. You may think it's easier online, but why wait? We're here to help you make sure you're covered. When it comes to car insurance, we have the answers, and we may have rates that save you money. So talk to Hawk at 318-791-HAWK or online at talktohawk.com and let us help you protect your biggest investments.
BK Distributors is proud to support high school athletics on 446 Sports. BK is the one-stop shop for trophies, banners, awards, letter jackets, and just about anything award-related. And now, welcome BK Apparel and BK Promotions to the family for all your spirit apparel needs and anything you need to brand your business. When you think of anything you need with your name on it, think BK. Check them out on Facebook or at bkdistrib.com. BK Distributors, apparel and promotions in Pineville.
For a lifetime of the best possible vision, look to Wallace Eye Associates, where our tradition of eye care excellence in Cenla spans nearly 40 years. From your next family eye exam to cataract and glaucoma evaluations, trust your vision to the experienced eye professionals at Wallace Eye Associates. Call Wallace Eye Associates today at 318-448-4488 to schedule your next eye evaluation.
Wherever you are, you're there for a reason. You shouldn't have to make a trip to the branch to deposit a check. Skip the trip and use our mobile app to easily and securely deposit checks right from your phone, day or night, wherever you are or whatever you're doing. Download our mobile app today.
Back to Fatburger on a Sunday evening here. March Madness is certainly upon us, but no more madness in this weather that we've been having. Doug Gann alongside of Coach Josh Brown, and joining us tonight on the show is Braden Wells, and that's one of the younger guys, Coach, that you tell me about. Tell me a little bit about Braden before we bring him in.
Yeah, 8th grader. Like I said, I coached him for a little while, travel ball, and then he's been over here now with us for a year, and got in some games over the weekend and stepped up, gave us a little spark off the bench, laid down a bunt against Delta Charter, and we were down 3-0, and we needed a spark off the bench, and he gave us that. And he was one of the kids that came up and did a good job and wound up scoring 8 runs in the 3rd inning, and then he had a stolen base later, then come up and put a ball and play hard down the line on 3rd base. So he had a good night last night.
Braden, we'll ask this to you. How was it? Of course, you knew you had to sit out when you made the move over for the 365 calendar days on there, but you've been able to practice and do some work. How eager were you, and how satisfying is it to get eligible and get back in the ball game?
Yeah, I was very eager. But getting back in there was a really satisfying feeling. It felt good to be out there.
Right, and just doing anything. And I know you've played with Coach Brown for a while. He's talking about it there. How comfortable is it coming in with this group of guys? Because it's a new set of guys, and playing around a lot of high-quality players without a doubt. So you don't have to come in and do anything above average on there. You just get to come in and learn. But tell me about your experience playing with this Grace team.
It's a great experience. It's a really tight bond between us all.
Right.
And we just do what we can, have fun together.
As an 8th grader, do you ever sit back and say, what am I doing out here?
Oh, no, sir, not at all. I feel like I earn what I have, and I don't look at it that way.
And that's the absolute mentality that we look for and that you got to see, because, it is that brand of baseball that has been referred to around here as dirtbag baseball. And every that means from the first pitch to the final out, somebody is going hard the entire time on there. And that's what baseball's all about.
Right, yeah. You got to play it all the way through. You can't really look ahead. You got to stay in the moment and play it play by play.
What are some of the things that you're hoping to get out of this season as a player? I know the goals that the team has on there, but what do you feel like, Braden Wells has to work on this season?
Well, everybody will say it's definitely laying off the curveball.
Right.
Out. But I just look to have a good at-bat every at-bat.
Right. And that's something, Coach, that we've heard from a number of players on there who want to have a good at-bat every at-bat. And folks, again, that are not around it don't understand actually what a quality at-bat is. Mm-hmm. You go up there, and they want to measure it all by a base hit or something. But sometimes more can be gained or things can be gained out of a good 7, 8, 9 pitch at-bat than a one-pitch home run.
Absolutely. You want to grind your bats out, man. I mean, if you can win each pitch, that's huge. And you might get that guy out of the game later because what you did in that at-bat, fouling off 4 or 5 pitches, just competing up there each pitch. That's what we want to do. That's what we want our guys to do, is compete every single pitch. And if you can do that, it may pay off later on down the road. But, I mean, we want to grind each bat out. I mean, we preach that. Don't just go up there and have a bad AB and you know, hey, just because you want to try to hit a home run. That's not always about that. You want to compete and just give everything you got. What
do you see in Braden that says, you know what, he's ready to come out and compete at this level?
You know, I mean, his baseball IQ is up there. He understands the game. You know, the biggest adjustment I always see with junior high kids is this. You know, everything's a little bit faster here. Got to slow down a little bit. You know, don't try to do too much. And we preach that with everybody. Don't try to do too much. But he's going to bring us, you know, defensively. He can play numerous spots. That's huge for us when you're a utility guy at that age. You know, and he's versatile. He can lay down a bunt at any time. He can run the bases a little bit, and he'll compete up there.
Who's a couple of the guys, Braden, that you're looking up and say, you know what, I need to stay around these guys and do what they're doing?
Yeah, I definitely like watching Carson's at bats.
Right.
You know, with the pitch selection. I like seeing Luke hit as well, and I really like watching Canyon hit.
A lot of folks like that. You go back to Carson, and he probably leads the way in my mind in quality at bats, because we've seen him, again, we talked about it at the first of the show, be down 0-2 because he's taken up there right away. He's not. I don't believe I've seen him act first pitch maybe once or twice, but I've seen him down 0-2 and foul some off and grind out a walk and put a 8, 9, 10 pitch at bat together before he finally wins the at bat and walks on there. So, understanding quality at bats, what's your approach when you go to the plate?
So really, I'm looking to see at least 5 pitches every at bat. Trying to work, you know, back up the middle, right field. But I really like to see pitches before I go up there and start swinging.
And the curveball is one of those that you gotta.
Yeah.
Well, it's a different level. In travel earlier, you haven't seen a lot of those curveballs at all, and it's a difference because there's nothing saying that you don't go out there. And what are you, 14?
13.
13. That you go out there and see a kid 17 throwing the ball. Who's worked on it for a while. But the only way to get that experience is to get that experience. That's the only way.
Right. Yeah.
So, working through the season defensively, what do you think is, if you said, you know what, the one defensive spot that I feel most comfortable at is?
So I feel more laid back in the outfield.
Right.
But I'm really a natural infielder, but I feel it's a lot more laid back in the outfield.
We always said that that you only played infield because you weren't good enough to play the outfield. That's what the infielders don't say that, but that was, as an outfielder, that's what we said. Well, Braden, we're looking forward to a big season with you this year. Great to have you back, and certainly glad to have you in the black and green with Grace.
Yes,
so.
Sir.
We look forward to a lot of talk. Boy, that's loud in my ear, Chuck, when you hit that applause. There you go. Going to take a break. When we come back, we'll talk to another Warrior. To think another one of the young Warriors coming up.
Yep.
That's great. Yeah, you'll see these guys for a lot of years. Braden Wells, thank you for that. Look forward to seeing you a little bit more throughout the season.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having
We'll
me.
be back. We've got just a little bit more. This one is winding down. We'll come back with our final set of the night. We'll do that. We are live from Fatburger. Come out and join us. You've got a little bit of time. We're here each and every Sunday night at 6 p.m. throughout the season. We'll be right back.
There was a huge assembly, and then he came to the gym, and he announced it.
I would like to honor a Warrior that is right here.
I was diagnosed with Wilms tumor kidney cancer.
Colin McGee. We're going to fly you and your family to Universal Studios in Los Angeles to meet Adam Levine. Yes!
Got there, and then we went to Santa Monica Pier, and the water felt good, and I found a bunch of cool rocks, and then we went to the Voice the next day, I got to meet Adam Levine after the show, which was amazing.
I'm Bob Giles, and I believe every business should give back. Join me at gilesgivesback.com.
Appliance Parts Company in Alexandria has all your major appliance parts needs. We sell parts to all major appliances as well as new appliances, including window units, chest, and upright freezers. Appliance Parts originally opened its doors on Lee Street in 1972, and we're now open at a new location on Memorial Drive to serve you better. Stop by, say hey to our crew, and check out our awesome holiday gifts. Appliance Parts, 2208 Memorial Drive in Alexandria next to Target. Open Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, and Saturday from 9 till 12.
Make your burger your style with delicious, hand-pressed, never-frozen AAA Angus beef and tons of fresh, tasty toppings. Fatburger. Great taste sounds good, doesn't it?
Buying car insurance for the first time can be overwhelming. Do you have enough coverage? Are you paying too much? Will someone be there for you when the unexpected happens? I'm Jason Hawk with Farm Bureau Insurance. You may think it's easier online, but why wait? We're here to help you make sure you're covered. When it comes to car insurance, we have the answers, and we may have rates that save you money. So talk to Hawk at 318-791-HAWK or online at talktohawk.com and let us help you protect your biggest investments.
BK Distributors is proud to support high school athletics on 446 Sports. BK is the one-stop shop for trophies, banners, awards, letter jackets, and just about anything award-related. And now, welcome BK Apparel and BK Promotions to the family for all your spirit apparel needs and anything you need to brand your business. When you think of anything you need with your name on it, think BK. Check them out on Facebook or at bkdistrib.com. BK Distributors, Apparel and Promotions in Pineville.
Is your vision just not as crisp and clear as it used to be? Are you having difficulty driving, especially at night? Are you over 40 and now needing reading glasses? If so, the trusted eye care team at Wallace Eye Associates is here to help with your family's eye care needs, just like we have been for nearly 40 years. Call Wallace Eye Associates today at 318-448-4488 to schedule your next eye evaluation.
Our mobile banking app is changing the way we bank. Things are getting easier, transactions are getting safer, and you have access 24/7. All the functionality of banking you're used to, made easier to use, anywhere, anytime, and more secure than ever. Simple, seamless, safe. Download our mobile app today.
That Chuck. We are back for another Sunday evening here at Fatburger and Buffalo's Express. It is the Warrior Roundup. You see the kitchen is filling up out there. Good crowd out there, Coach. You can see some of your family on camera, and they said he didn't want to get on camera, but lo and behold, there they are right on it. So how about that? We are back, and we've got another one of the young Warriors with us, Coach, and it seems like every year you're just trotting out more and more of these young guys. Heck, it seems like Luke's been playing for you for about 12 years as early on as he started. But tell us about the young man you have with you tonight.
Yeah, Brady McDaniel, man. He's working his butt off at practice and got a great opportunity this week. Started, I think it was the Harrisonburg game. No.
The Delhi Charter.
Delhi Charter game Saturday. He's got his, again, we were struggling a little bit in the spot. We gave him a start and puts the ball in play twice, making things happen, moving runners over, and and then late in the game we put him at third base. We have a switch where we put. This was actually Delta Charter the next game where we put Luke at catcher and Cody went to the mound. So we got Brady some work at third. Again, great baseball IQ, loves the game. He's going to pour in a lot of time in the cage. That's all he does. Eat, sleep, and breathes baseball. He's one of those kids. He's got a little Canyon Wright in him. Just a young baby.
Well, I'm going to tell you, that's not a bad person to emulate and someone to follow that work ethic because Canyon, it's paying off for Canyon. Brady, tell us, we asked Braden this question as well. I know just getting back and being able to get onto the field officially, how's it feel?
It feels great, honestly. After sitting out a year watching all of them play, got to learn a lot about the high school level.
I've got to get in the middle of this on here. It's just a show full of 17, 18-year-old kids on there, and you've got a lot of these big baseball players, and then the young, fresh voice of this young man that comes up there. It's like, how are you out there competing with these varsity guys?
I mean, usually I'm just trying to put the ball in play, make the easy, simple plays and all that, and just.
You play a lot of travel ball coming through. You play since you were how old?
10, I want to say.
Right. So a couple of years now.
Well, he's been playing ball longer than that. How long have you been playing baseball? 4, 3, 4. T-ball.
T-ball probably, yeah.
Right.
He's been playing forever. Look, Doug, this kid loves the game, and he's a special young man, and he's unselfish. That's what I like about him.
Well, and the one thing that Brady, that I've heard about you from a couple of different players is, and this is something that you can't teach on there because you can teach anybody to go out there and field ground balls. You can teach anybody to throw the ball from one base to the other. But work ethic, to go out there and work on it day in and day out, that separates the good talent from the champions on there. Because I'd take a team full of guys that maybe weren't as talented but would go out there and work at their craft every day. And that's the one thing that I've heard about you is that you go out and you don't take a day off at work.
I just want to try to get better every single day.
What are you working on the most? What's
probably hitting the ball.
Right. You like hitting the big fly?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. When Coach Brown told us a lot of comparisons with you and Canyon, and again, that speaks volumes because we know the approach that Canyon has at it. You've pretty good relationship with him?
Really good.
What is it playing with some of these guys? Because this is probably some of the most talented people you've played on a team with. How is it just sitting back and learning from these guys?
I mean, it's amazing. Just seeing them play and just watching them.
Right. What's the one thing that you've got to work on, that you've got to get better at?
Probably staying down on the ball, fielding the ground ball.
Right.
I like to pop up a bunch.
They get you catch one of them 18-year-old fastballs off the chin, and that'll teach you quick. What position do you play when you're out there?
Usually first, third, and I pitch a good bit.
I got you, Coach. When you're looking at a long-range plan for him, what do you see?
I mean, long range, we definitely see him a corner guy. I think probably first is going to be sooner than later. Maybe even a little right field, but we definitely think first and third. And he's going to definitely be on the mound as well.
Again, we've seen through the years, and some 8th graders, I don't know that we've seen as much of a contribution as some of the 7th graders this year, but you guys are building up quite a chemistry for a good long-range run on there. Some of these younger players, do you guys start saying, you know what, we've got to be a part of this growth at Grace Christian?
Oh, a lot we do.
Y'all do it a lot, huh? You say those old seniors don't have anything on when y'all's class is going. Be careful because they're listening. So, look, it's the young grins that so guys that later on they'll come in and they won't talk much because they just it's not cool anymore to do that, and that's what we appreciate about the youthfulness and all that. Brady, excited about seeing you play this year. Haven't seen you out on the field yet, but we'll be back Thursday night for that game because you guys are on the road Tuesday to Monterey. Correct. Before you're back home, and we'll be back out in our normal outfield spot where we're at out there. But Brady, looking forward to a great career from you and seeing you more this season.
Thank you.
There you have it. Brady McDaniel joining us, the 7th grader, did you say?
Correct.
My goodness. It doesn't stop. Just reloading, continuing. What a special season this is going to be. Chuck, I am going to actually, we're not. I was going to take another break, but we ended our time on there. Looking ahead, Coach, at what you have over the next 2 weeks. We'll look at it in a 2-week span. You've got Monterey on Tuesday. You're there. Thursday back home, and then you have your getaway trip this Friday and Saturday. Tell me about that again.
Yeah, we go to Cedar Creek on Friday night. We have JV at 4, varsity at 6.
Second time you've played them. We played them earlier here at Merrill Blackburn Field, okay?
Correct, and they're playing good baseball. They just come off with a big win, beating Manny 3-0. And then we play Northwood Shreveport,
right?
Class 4A. They're 14-5 right now. Very good baseball club.
And that's about 25 points before you step on the field, isn't it?
Correct. That's a big game for us because, it's right before a Royals Charter, and we want to be ready for those guys.
Yeah, and so that's the following week on there, and we'll talk about that next Sunday. We'll recap the Monterey week. We'll recap that big Friday, Saturday matchup, and set you up for what is a 1 versus 2 matchup in Division 5 Select, and we'll do all of that when we're back here next Sunday night. Again, a big round of applause for our folks here at Fatburger and all of the crowd that made it out tonight. There you see that's the restaurant cam that's going on there. See a lot of the guys up there along that and enjoying their Fatburger and Buffalo's Express. Coach, what's your favorite here, the burger or the wings? Or lately I've seen both at there, and so I don't know. When you get 50 like I am, you're not going to be able to do that as much.
Burger for sure.
Burger for sure. Have you tried the 3X? Have you got got up your picture up there?
No. Canyon's up here probably 3 times. But no.
Is it because you haven't tried?
I haven't tried it.
Okay, so next Sunday, maybe we go about 10 minutes early, Chuck, and we let Coach Brown attempt. Guys, do y'all want to see him attempt the 3XL challenge?
Why not?
Who thinks he can do that? Now, we start the show at a certain – look, your wife said you could, so she probably knows all of that. Well, bring a crowd out here tomorrow or next Sunday night, and we'll talk about that. And there's no time limit, so if it takes you the whole show – well, they don't do that because we'll give you, what do you think, 15 minutes?
I think 15 minutes.
You think you can finish that in 15 minutes?
I think I can do it.
Guys, what do y'all think about that? All right, so the last time you talked, you made a deal with them about, and you were going to provide them pizza if you done it. So if you do it and you accomplish it, they've got to get you something. If you don't, we'll have to find something out too. We'll work on that this week.
Absolutely.
But there's a lot of baseball in between now and next Sunday. Come out, it will be the 3XL Challenge. And Coach Josh Brown, see if he can tackle that, get his picture up on this wall behind it. Come on out. We'll be here next Sunday. That's when we'll be here. I lose my train of thought sometime. Follow the Warriors all season long right here on 446 Sports. For Chuck Perkins, Coach Josh Brown, I am Doug Gann. God bless you all, and good night.